Unit 2, Module 3, Mobile App Development. My name is Alice Thomas Martin, a secondary school teacher, and I'm here with Denise Bram, a DM practitioner.
Thank you, Alice.
Denise, challenges again. I think the challenge is a little worse this time though.
No, man.
Yes, believe you me. This syllabus is telling me to develop a mobile app. Me,
What is
a
wrong with
secondary
that?
school teacher, I cannot do it. How on earth can I teach my students to do something that I have no idea to do?
Okay. It's great that you're bringing this up because it's not too late to learn. It doesn't matter what age you are. You can learn it. Don't put any blocks up in your mind. You can learn it. It's very simple.
Okay.
It's just like when you're creating a website.
Okay.
You have to put a lot of preparation work in, right? Think of the design and layout of the app. So you can have some students working on the design of the app. But before you can even get to that stage, you have to think about what purpose will this app serve? What is the app? Who is it targeting? What do your audiences need? Is it an app that you're going to develop for the school? Is it something that you're going to develop for Trinidad, for Grenada, for Guyana? What are the needs of the communities that you're going to target with it? Right? So a lot of thought has to go into the development of an app. Right? Once you have all of that down, the idea, you go into your design and your layout, and then you use one of the programs like Eclipse, Android SDK, or the Droid Draw, right? You have to know which mobile platform you're going to push this on. So Alice, what are the more popular cell phone types where you live?
Well, it used to be BlackBerry. However, I'm seeing a lot of the Android-powered phones are coming in now, as well as the iPhone. So I would put it in those three brackets: BlackBerry, iPhone, and the Android-powered. So I heard you talking nicely about creating these app devices. So you mean I have no programming to do? I don't need to write code from scratch? I don't need to remember when I was in UE ago?
No, Alice. There is some coding, but listen, if you're developing an app for BlackBerry,
Okay.
you look for a BlackBerry coding website to code that app. So same thing with Android power devices and the iPhone. You find one and it's listed there in the resources, right? Under the mobile app development unit.
Resources, okay.
Right?
So this reminds me of something I thought in Unit 1, the open movement. And I know that there was the open data and the open source and something about code that I can reuse. So I can use this part of this open movement to help build my mobile app.
Exactly.
All
Exactly.
right.
You have it down already.
I was really getting scared. I was really, really getting scared because I have no idea how to build a mobile app. So I can just send my students to the website, get their code in, and they can use it freely, change, do what they want.
Right. They go to the website, whether it's an Android, iPhone, or BlackBerry, and they put in some information about the design and layout, send it or enter it, and voila, it's like magic. You get your app back.
I just have one little concern because I remember when we were doing websites, we had, the intellectual property issue.
Yes.
Is there anything that I need to be careful of and I need to point out to those students? Because I want to send them out there as good persons doing the right thing.
I understand where you're coming from, and it's a consideration for not only secondary schools but university level people too. What we have to be careful of is that we guide these students with ethical guidelines. We teach them these ethical guidelines. You teach them how to use the internet properly, how to cite sources, how not to infringe on copyright issues, right? If you're going to do an assignment and you find some pictures that look nice and you want to use them without asking for permission, then they have to know and they have to understand which lines you can cross and which you can't. With open source, with open movement, you can use things freely, you can redistribute. But when you take a picture of somebody else, you can't just take it and put it in your assignment. You can't just redistribute it. You can't share it with others without that person's permission, right? And it's the same thing when they're doing research too, right? If they find an idea that sounds good and they want to use it, they have to check with you, the teacher, to see whether they can, or check with the originator of that information to see if they can get permission, right? It's a tricky, tricky area, right? And that's why they need your guidance in these ethics discussions.
Okay, well, I will be sure to guide them along that path, make sure they do the right thing. So you know what? This thing sounds much easier now. So I just need to remember to guide them correctly, make sure they do the correct thing, they don't breach any ethical issues. I must admit, I feel a lot more comfortable now. I'm not sweating so much anymore.
Okay, great. I'm glad you're calm now.
Yeah, I really think I can teach my students how to build relevant mobile apps, things that we can use in the Caribbean, things that they can use to solve problems within their schools and their communities. Denise, thank you very much.
Great.